Hey friends, this is Rachel Picaric, and this is another episode of the Soul CEO podcast. And today I want to dive into one of my favorite topics. Oh gosh, there's going to be so many favorite topics. I think I'm going to say that a million times because if I'm talking about it, I'm probably passionate about it. And that's why we're here, is to give you guys the equipping and the equipment that you need to grow. Today, we're going to talk about the goal and purpose of leadership, how to step into leadership, and also how to begin to even why would you want to create leaders inside of your organization? And if you're brand new to this podcast, welcome. Super excited that you're here. Make sure that you subscribe. And I would love if you tap that 5-star for reviews or ratings and leave me a review. Really appreciate it. And make sure that you tag me on social media, Instagram stories at Soul CEO, or on Facebook at Rachel Picaric. I'd love to connect with you, repost with you, and just create a great relationship. This is really fun. Okay, let's dive in. I would grab a pen and a piece of paper. The best leaders, by the way, are excellent students. And so do not trust your memory. You're going to probably forget most of this podcast like an hour later. You're going to go to dinner. You're going to go turn on Netflix. You're going to go hop on social media. Like, what did I say about leadership? So grab a pen and a piece of paper and let's dive in. Now, when we think about leadership, leadership is important. When I think about what leaders do, without it, we have nothing, right? A very small percentage of the population is leaders, and they're the ones they're the movement makers. They're the ones that make change. They're the ones that change lives. They're the ones that innovate. They're the ones that create incredible tribes and organizations and cultures. Leadership drives it all. And I read a quote by, I believe it was Eric Worre from Network Marketing Pro, that he says that the purpose of leadership is to create action that wouldn't have been there otherwise. And that's true. Like, a leader is there to get people to do things that they wouldn't have done otherwise. John C. Maxwell, who's one of my mentors, I had an insane experience. Let me tell you about this. 2014, this was my previous company, and they hired in John C. Maxwell, Inc. 500, number one leadership guru in the world, to basically train us. And we had to spend a gob of money, like an insane amount of money, to have 1 year of mentorship with him. And it was excellent. Every single month, once a month, we either met in person or had a call. And it was very intimate, 20, 30 of us in the room. And there were several times I got to actually have breakfast with him privately. I won a contest. Oh my God, he's amazing. By the way, he always gets granola and yogurt, just a parfait. Fun fact. But he's just a stellar dude. I love him, read everything, every book that he's, his bestsellers. Gotta love him. Everything leadership. He says that leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. And the way that I describe it, it's kind of matter of fact. It's getting people to do what you want them to do because they want to do it. And I'm not talking from a manipulative way or an evil way or something nefarious. I'm not using it for bad purposes, right? I'm getting people to, an effective leader is getting people to get out of their own way, to see the potential in themselves. It's to take a step, to get them to take action and to get a result, right? That's what it's all about. It's about results. And when we're thinking about in network marketing, it's about driving volume. This is a volume-based business. I always say all the time in our opportunity, we're a product-centric business and a product-focused business, a product-dependent business. Nothing moves, nobody is paid, nothing happens until product is sold. And so the action, the result that we're looking for is somebody becoming a customer of our product or service or joining the team, which also is becoming a customer of the service. They just happen to refer and make a check, right? But if you take a leader out, if you take an effective leader out, a true leader, nothing happens. But you put them in, we get action, we get the step, we get the result, right? So the leader creates the impact. The leader is the result. And a lot of people, especially if they're newer in leadership or underdeveloped in leadership, they assume that they're a leader. I am a leader because I'm a leader because I lead by example. I'm a leader because I have good ideas. I'm a leader because I have a title. I'm a leader because I have vision. I'm a leader because I have character. Well, even good followers have character. That is the basis of a follower. They have character, they're following you, right? really more than anything, like that's fine, that's noble, that's good. We're going to talk about that in many, many more series when we get into deeper levels of leadership. But like, how do we measure effective leadership? It's results. And when I think about indirect sales, there's five major things that you probably want to rate yourself at, of where you are in your leadership. And I've learned this from Eric Worre, working directly closely with him for many, many years. I'm in his private mastermind for 6 and 7 figure income earners. I love it. One of the best investments. It's one of my favorite Zooms of the week. And he says that, leaders, you got to rate yourself on independence, problem solving, consistency, big vision, and creating action. Meaning, are you independent? Maybe rate yourself 1 to 5, 1 being not at all, 5 being highly effective there. Are you independent? 1 to 5. Are you good at problem solving? Are you a problem solver? Are you consistent? 1 to 5. Do you have big vision? And do you create action? Like, for instance, like if let's say problem solving is one of your worst, like if you're currently not good at that one, if that was like the lowest one, you better create a game plan to become better at problem solving. Like that needs to be important. And when I think about network marketing, like I think about the things like when I look at my leaders, what are they good at? Well, they get the most out of their new teamies. They help them become more. They help them achieve more. They help them rise up. They make sure that everybody orders and everyone gets paid at the end of the month. Like they're on top of their business and their numbers. They never complain to their downline. And you know what? They never complain upline. It's so funny. I have a lot of mid-level leaders that it's like, we used to call it Skype and gripe before Zoom. Like we get on the phone and like Skype and gripe. But they say all the time how much they hate that their team complains to them. And then they come to me and they complain. Like, don't stop coming to me, guys. Like, it's fine. Like, we're great. But like, just like a little hint, your upline doesn't want to hear it anyways. Like your upline doesn't want to be yelled at. I got yelled at recently on like an hour-long Zoom and I'm like, ugh, it was not great. It literally, I'll tell you guys just very candidly, it makes you not want to pick up that next call. Whether it be a week later or a month later, when Sue has been like barking at you and complaining about the company or the products or the shipping or the comp plan or the office or the paychecks or this person or that person, it's emotionally draining. So a real leader in network marketing, they never complain downline and they never complain upline. When I look at the best network marketing leaders, like they have goals. They have their own aspirations. Like they're running for something, like that self-motivation. They conduct meetings or calls or Zooms without their business partners, without their support team. Like back BC before COVID, like I could tell a true leader that they didn't need me in their market to host a meeting. They were driving their Super Saturdays or their hotel meetings or their home parties or whatever it was that we might we're mostly social media, but you kind of have those, offline things. A true network marketing leader, like they don't let outside influences control their attitude. Their highs are low and their lows are high. Man, I mean, there's so much to unpack here with like emotional intelligence, but they don't let the outside influences, like if somebody quits or if their boss was mean to them that day or they got a flat tire or, they got bad news in the mail or whatever. They don't let outside influences control their attitude. And a true network marketing leader, like they take control and the responsibility of their time. Like they love taking control. They love stepping up. So when you think about everything that I just shared, whether it be the rating of independence, problem solving, consistent, big vision, action, but then I talked about specifically network marketing, like they get the most out of their teamies. They're making sure every single person orders. They're never complaining up or down. They have their own goals. They're conducting meetings, Do you see how rare these leaders probably are? I want you to take a step back and I want you to look at your team. And I want you to count, based on those qualifications, how many real leaders you have. Now, if you've counted one that conducts meetings without you, takes responsibility, right? Super positive, has a great attitude, gets results, has big vision. If you have one, you're going to be financially fortunate. That's what Big Al, he would say. Big Al Schrader. You're financially fortunate. If you've counted two inside of your team, two real leaders, that do everything without you. They get the most out of their teamies. They never complain. They're getting everybody orders. They're super consistent. They're independent. You're going to be rich and independently wealthy beyond your wildest dreams. If you've counted 3 or 4 or even 5 real leaders in your organization, you've probably miscounted. Leaders are truly that rare. So really, when we think about success in direct sales, and even if let's say you're even a broker of a real estate business, I use real estate a lot because I have a lot of realtors in my network. Hi, if you're in real estate, let me know. But if you are a leader in any capacity, number one, you want to become that real leader, somebody who's independent, problem solving, super consistent, has big vision, create actions, does all the things, doesn't rely on anybody, has an attitude of gratitude, doesn't look and pour garbage and toxic gossip on everybody and isn't complaining to their upline when anything goes wrong in the company. Number one, step one, you become that leader. But number two, you want to identify the potential of those inside of your group and then mentor them to become real leaders. So you become first, you lead by example, and then your job is identification. It's looking at the potential. This is why I miss in person so much, but Zoom kind of works, but I loved in person because I'd be in meetings, and I'm an introvert, but I still love belly to belly because I love people. And I loved seeing people's pupils, their eyes. You could just kind of see it. Are they getting it? Is it clicking? Do they have that fire behind them? I just love that. I see the potential. Your job is to identify and see who can become that leader and to mentor them in the process. Now, let's talk network marketing specifically. Why would you want to do this? Why would you want to become a real leader and then also identify and mentor those to become real leaders in your team? Well, there's really 3 tiers of success, I believe, in network marketing. 3 tiers of success. And if you're taking notes, I'd write one little $sign. You could write 3 or 4, it's fine. But one, a little baby $sign. And write retail. If you want to work this business and pay for your product or pay for your cell phone bill or maybe even pay for your gas bill and possibly maybe even your car payment, you can work this business by selling product. Retailing, meaning acquiring customers. And you'll make a little bit of money. You'll have the tax advantages. You'll be a part of a great team. You'll probably get some personal growth and mentorship and have some new buddies. But you're not going to make an extraordinary life-changing income. Maybe it's life-changing in a way, but not where you could go into any restaurant and order on the left side of the menu and not the right. Do you know what I'm talking about here? When you open up a menu, what's on the right side of the menu? It's the price. How many of you guys would love to go to a restaurant and order off the left side of the menu? Just order whatever you want and never look at, there's been times where I remember being so broke. Oh my gosh, I was poor. I was po. I couldn't even afford the OR. I was so po. There was a time where I was $100,000 in debt. And I remember that the idea of dinner was sharing a Hot Pocket and a can of soup every single night. That was dinner. A treat was run for the border, Taco Bell. And we had $12 to spend. Thankfully, $12 at Taco Bell goes really, really far. Okay, so I've been po before. And when you start to create financial independence and wealth and get debt free and are very, a good steward with your money, the idea that you could go to a restaurant and order what you want or go into any store and you see that dress and it fits you amazingly and you don't even look at the price tag because you're looking banging in it. You're okay, great, I need this dress. Again, I'm going to talk a lot about, I'm sure, finances and, being frugal and a good steward and all that. But how great would it be if you didn't have that, right? Retailing is not going to get you there. It's going to get you guys in profit likely and pay for your product, and you're going to be a part of a great team. The next line, write 2 little $signs. You can make a little bit more money in network marketing by team building, i.e. recruiting. So not only are you selling product, not only are you moving whatever it is that you sell, but you're also recruiting some people to join you. So you are now duplicating, you're finding other sellers, other retailers, and you're duplicating the efforts. And it's so interesting about network marketing because in the beginning, you will work 10 hours and get paid 1. We'll work 10 hours and get paid for 1. And then over time, you'll work 1 hour and get paid for 10 hours. It's so cool. My friends, Michelle and Sean Poe, they said on stage one day, they said, for a long time in this business, you'll be vastly underpaid. And then for a very long time, you'll be vastly overpaid. Leverage is an amazing thing. If you work 20 hours a week in this business, but you have 4 people also working 20 hours, you're effectively getting paid for the work of 100 hours, but you only put in 20. Can you see why I love network marketing? Leverage is so great. But 2 little dollar signs, like you make a living here. You can make this can be depending on how good you are, how consistent you are, how independent you are, your emotional intelligence, your skill, your marketing abilities, who you are as a good human. You can make decent money. Enough to be job optional, maybe. Enough to upgrade your car or change your postcode or your zip code and move to a better side of town or a better climate. Like there are options here at this level. But then there's the third level of network marketing. And I want you to write down like 3 or 4 or 5 or like $50 signs. And it's building leaders and making them successful. So stage 1 is retailing, a little bit of money. The next step is team building, recruiting, making a little bit more money. And then if you want legacy income, or I say to my team, if you want to become a legend, then you build leaders and you make them successful. In fact, the highest paid skill in network marketing, do you know what it is? See, I asked this to a group of about 70 leaders, up and coming leaders, and I said, what is the number one highest paid skill in network marketing? And they're all like inviting, prospecting, recruiting. Some said leadership. And only one, her name is Alyssa. Alyssa said, building leaders, developing leadership. And it's true. It's the highest paid skill. The second highest paid skill would be being a leader yourself. But remember, you got to become a real leader and then identify the potential of those in your group and mentor them to become real leaders. The true life-changing income here, guys, is building leaders and helping them be successful. Now, in kind of wrapping this up, there's a lot of things we can unpack with it when it comes to leadership. And I have so much I want to talk about, like leading by example and many more podcasts. But it's important that we cultivate powerful leadership attributes, right? My question to you is it all about you or is it about your team? Is it all about your ego and being important and being the biggest voice and being recognized and being edified? Or is it about your team? Is it about your rewards or your rank or your title or your bank account? Or is it about trying to help others? Like, is it about your vision, getting your vision bigger and your goals bigger and broader? Or is it helping your team see their dreams and goals and aspirations met? See, the biggest leaders, the most successful leaders, they are servant-led or servant-driven. They are heart-led. It is not about them. And I'll tell you guys, in the first 2/3, I guess, of my career in this industry, if you were to see me 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, it was all about me. And then I went through a massive spiritual transformation when I was 30 years old, 2015. And I say it was the morning of my life was all about me. And the afternoon of my life became all about He. It became about Jesus. It became trying to work out the rough and gnarly and jagged edges of my personality and a lot of the things that I was holding on to so that I could see, wow, it wasn't about me or my rewards or my rank or my ego or making sure that I was important. It was about everyone else. And it's been the most powerful emotional and spiritual shift because I truly did love people, but I was hanging on to old and really ridiculous, uncertain, attributes that did not serve me. Many will call themselves leaders, right? And short term, they might even get some growth, right? Because it's all about them. I know several people inside of the groups and organizations and companies that I work with that they were able to see some pretty ridiculous income and results and ranks and volume. And a lot of it is because of the fact they just were hard freaking workers. Like they just did grunt work, but it was all about them. And over time, people will stop performing in their group. Like if it is just about you and your ego and your rewards and your vision, your people, they will stop performing just to cost you money. Like they want to smack you off of your ivory tower. And I think about some of the greatest leaders, even think about Hollywood characters. Think about Braveheart. Think about how William Wallace was portrayed, real story, by Mel Gibson. Was William Wallace like this? He was a leader. He had a movement. Was it all about him? Was it about his ego, his status, his glory? Or was it about freedom? Was it about freedom for his people? He just wanted freedom for his people. And there's a few other things I really want to dive into, but we're going to save that here for another episode. I want to talk about different attributes and philosophies. I want to talk about competence, image, vision, game plan, the intensity, awareness, magneticism, how to become a magnetic leader, somebody that people want to follow, the importance of the ability to communicate, how to identify leaders, how to identify potential leaders and what to do with them to see if they will pass the test for your time and your investment and mentorship. We're going to get into all that. But just remember, you can choose. Do you want to make a little bit of money? Do you want to make a little bit more money? Do you want to become a legend? Do you want to build a legacy? Well, guys, it's up to you. You got to become a real leader. And then you got to identify people on your team and start working with them to become that person. So I hope you guys are enjoying this podcast. Make sure that you tag me and post on your stories, tag me at Soul CEO or Rachel Picard. And I cannot wait to see what you guys think of. And the outpouring and response so far has been so amazing. Make sure that you subscribe, you leave a review, and rate it 5-star, 5-star, 5-star. And we're going to see you next time on the Soul CEO podcast. God bless, guys.